The DIMP Digital Network presents Idle Game Chat.
Hello, Apps here from the DIMP Digital Network. Welcome to Idle Game Chat. I'm joined by Tom Adkins, not Adcock, and he is going to review Animal Crossing New Horizons. And if you're listening to us via the Idle Game Chat feed, well done and thank you. If you're listening to us on the DIMP Digital Network feed or one of our YouTube channels, thank you again. But you should really seek out the dedicated IGC podcast feed, because that will give you access to these episodes at least 48 hours in advance, plus some bonus episodes that are exclusive to that. So if you like video games, just search for Idle Game Chat on any good podcast outlet, subscribe, and you will start getting our content earlier and some of the secret stuff. Adkins, not Adcock, how's it going, boy?
I am very well. Well, no. I'm good. I'm fed up, if I'm on it. No, I'm not fed up. I'm very well, but I'm getting my ass kicked.
Yes, you've been playing Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and so has Biff, and it sounds like he's closing in on the end of it, so he might actually finish it, and we might actually get a finished review of him, which is once in a blue. I can't believe it's probably one of the hardest games in the last few years.
Yeah,
and he has binned about 70% of the games before finishing them. And yet he may finish Sekiro.
Unbelievable. He was probably about 2 hours away from finishing Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them. What was the other one?
Origins.
Yeah, Uncharted Lost Legacy must have been about an hour away.
Been there.
And no, he's gone. I don't want this to. I'm going to go for the hardest game that's been in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fucking get to the end boss.
Got to Control. We got to the last.
Oh yeah.
45 minutes of Control. Bin that. I mean, there's a certain level of binning going on, which is not ideal. But you're here to talk about something that's a little bit more tranquil, I hope.
Yeah.
And
I think this is why I've been starting to play this Sekiro, because I've had plenty of hours on this bad boy, and it is such a different specimen.
Yeah, it's a different league of game, isn't it, in terms of what you're doing. I'm surprised you got this, because when me and Salmon were kind of mentioning it, you quote unquote said it was a little girl's game, it looked like. I'm assuming having never played any of the others like I hadn't, but it'd almost been written off, I thought.
No. I started to review this on the Doom review, so I'll reiterate what I said last time. My fucking brain went mental. Cards on the table. This is my first entry into the Animal Crossing world.
Yes.
Yeah, never played any of them at all. I didn't even know any of them. Didn't really know much of it until there was that one on the 3DS when a friend of mine's girlfriend was playing it. And that's where I've got that girl link from.
Right, okay.
But, so looking at it from thing, it was, me and you, day one the Switch. So when it came out and this was going to be one of the big Switch games, I was thinking, right, it's pointless to get these Switches and not get these big titles that come each year, So I still haven't bought fucking Pokemon yet. But
no, I've been there, yeah.
But most of the other ones I've got, games that I've never played most of their franchises before. But yeah, so with this, I was like, right, I'm going to get it because it's a Switch game and I've got the Switch. I want to give it a try.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was thinking, it's not like, what is it? Well, that's one of the hardest questions to answer in this game, because it's so unlike any other game I've played that when you tell someone what it's about, they're like, how is that fun?
Yeah.
So you're like, it's basically a life simulator where you do daily chores and it's tied to real time. So you do a bit of weeding and you pick some flowers and you sell it, and
pick some fruit, chop some wood down. It's basically like Red Dead Redemption 2's camp mechanic or camp thing, but you've got your own island to be dealing with, and you can't go off on a horse and shoot cowboys and stuff. Like it's just that you've got your own island to build up, and it's a bit of a I think it's like a bit of a blend because I've been playing it as well. I've done plenty of hours, but not quite got to the end credits, which I was surprised to understand that there was some, which is something for people to aim for. But it kind of has that element of, a bit of a mindless grind alongside like a Minecraft-y type business where it fits into you building up your village and putting things where you want and trying to make it a ruddy, nice place to visit, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I was saying, with the toy in my brain. So I was like, right, I'm going to give this a try.
Yeah.
But in my head, I just couldn't get. I was like, right,
it's the last physical game he bought before lockdown got.
It was literally the day
off, wasn't it?
The day off. I was like, right. And I remember thinking it's going to happen tonight. I know, like, these shops are going to shut tomorrow, so I ain't going to be able to get it.
Yeah.
So I made that decision. I pre-ordered it, and then because it came out the same day as Doom.
Yes.
I thought, right, okay. And then I looked at it, and I thought, I'm not sure if this game is for me. I'm not too sure. No, I cancelled it. So I cancelled it. Then they released that Nintendo did their direct that was all it, and the hype came, and I thought, maybe I'll give it a go. So I pre-ordered it again, and then the day of the reviews in the morning, I cancelled it, and it came out to rave reviews. Unbelievable.
Sitting on a 90 on OpenCritic, loving life. Top 5 of the year.
Fucking absolute. And I was like, right, what have I done here? But I thought, fuck it, I'm getting Doom.
Yeah.
I'll be able to get away with it. That'll sort me out, and I won't get this itch to play this. So then the day comes. It was the Friday it came out, wasn't it? Yeah, you and Salmon got it day one.
Yeah.
And then you were sending messages over, and I started to and I was playing Doom at the same time. Then the pub shut on the Friday from the COVID-19 disaster.
Yeah.
I was like, right, this ain't looking good. Went to work Monday, and then with you, I think you and Salmon were just back and forth, and I thought, I've got to give this a go. And it sounds like the perfect game that will work in this, what I knew was coming, this lockdown we needed. And now I did. I popped off to our local Argos I got it from in the end.
Oh, Argos? I thought it was a Smith's Toys purchase.
No, it was going to be, but they sold out.
Bloody bastards.
See people going for it.
It was sold out for ages, wasn't it? Even online. Like, you couldn't get hands on it. Like, I went digital, but for anyone asking for a physical, good lord, it was difficult.
No, I think I must have got one of the last ones at Argos because it sold out after that. But yeah, I made it
off some poor 10-year-old who's not got any score or any entertainment. You just stole it off their phone.
And I stole it. I thought, right, get this skills game in. I'm going to have to shut that out and give it a go and see what it's for me. And then that's where the journey began.
Was you immediately hooked by it, or did it take, like, more than a few days of playing? Because we'll get into how the game kind of gates you, because you can't do things, you can't just smash it, you have to kind of let the game do things overnight often. But were you, in that first session, you put it down, do you think, right, I've just come from ripping demons' heads off, cutting out their asses, to running around this little fucking island with Tom Nook, who's clearly some sort of fraudster bastard crook. I mean, I don't know how he's getting away with it, to be honest. But
he's a fucking dictator. He's a modern day Hitler.
He's the biggest prick in gaming of 2020 so far. I don't think anyone's going to beat him.
Absurd prices that boy runs.
Did he have you hooked early doors, or does it take a few sessions?
It did, but and I'm going to say this a lot in this. I think with this COVID-19 situation, this lockdown, it played so well to this game. That it enhanced my experience. I think had I been working, I don't know if this game would have hooked in as quick as it did with me, and I wouldn't have been as to be able to do what I've already done in this. And it's been 2 weeks since it's been out now, 2 and a bit weeks, So it is probably one of the slowest games, I'd say, to start with. A thing that annoyed me with Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the level gating.
Yes.
So.
God.
Yeah, you'd play a bit. And
did you finish all that in the end, or did you get?
I got to it, but I've still got one part of it left to do. I think on my thing I'm about 97%.
Jesus.
So it's just finding them fucking cult cunts.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes our explicit rating gone.
Yeah, got the E rating. There we go. That's what we're aiming for each time. You know?
Lovely. Got to get one C in there. So yeah, with that level gating, that used to bug the shit out of me. I'll be playing, and then boom, I'll get to a fucking wall where I have to sit there and think, well, I've got to go and do something else. I found this a similar sort of thing with this in the first sort of 5-6 days, maybe even the first week of playing this game. Because I had so much time to play it, I was, sticking probably about 10, no, maybe not that much, I'd say 8 hours a day I was probably playing this game over the 24-hour period.
Christ.
Yeah. But I was getting to a point, where I stick about 6 hours in, and that was it. That's all I could really do. Like, everything started to shut, and then that fucking prick Tom Nook would say to me, no, can't do any more, you got to wait for tomorrow now. I was thinking, fucking hell, it's like level gating here, but it's day gating. So I couldn't really progress much. So it's a very slow start, I'd say. So for someone going into it, you need to sort of prepare that this game, we're reviewing this game, and that, like I say, we've had 2 weeks of the game. Yeah, I've rolled the credits, but there's probably nothing compared to what's going to be coming to this game in terms of like the events, DLC they'll bring out, like adding new little bits and bobs. So it's you got to sign up for the long haul with this. But yeah, definitely with this game, it's a very slow start, and had the predicament been different, I'm not sure it would have stuck its hooks in as well as it has. No. I still think I would have enjoyed it and carried on, but I certainly wouldn't have been putting the sort of numbers I'd put into it.
No, we will certainly get to those numbers. It's entering its 4th week, so it's been out a fair amount of time, but still, it came out the 20th, so we are on that sort of verge where I think because you got it the weekend after.
Yes, I bought it Monday on the Monday, so yeah,
we'll be entering it. By the time this is published, it'll be entering that 4th.
Yeah, so I'm on 3 weeks. So yeah, but, 4 weeks, wasn't it?
But yeah, it's been. I was pretty much hooked. Almost immediately, like the first session. Yeah, I stuck it on and I was like, oh dear.
And this is your first entry to the thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I've not played Animal Crossing. I didn't really know what to expect. I'd played... What was that fucker called on the old mobile? Was it New Leaf?
That was the 3DS game. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. Whatever the little mobile version they released. I had a little dabble with that, and I was like, no, I'm not. This is
because you were sold pretty early on as well, weren't you? You'd made your pre-order, and you was like, right, no, I've committed to this. I remember.
Yeah. I don't know why, because I'd never even really done much research into what it was. I just heard it was good, and I thought it sounds like something I could get into, like a light bit of sort of crafting and building up your own thing, your own sort of, in this case, your own island. That's the crux of it, is that you have your own island to build up this time and have people come live on it and do what you want with. Plus, like the other sort of tasks of buying and selling stuff. There's a marketplace. There's turnips that people get involved with on a weekly basis, and that's like a big thing for the first part of the week. So there's all sort of little bits to keep you going, and I don't know, I didn't really do much research into it. I just thought I'll give it a go, since like you had the Switch, I might as well commit to some of these games, and I'm very glad I did. I do agree that the COVID-19 lockdown here in the UK certainly helped it, because it was just, it's not hard. It's not taxing on your brain. It's like if you've had a shit day or a stressful day, or you're worried about whatever, you can just put this on and disappear for a few hours. I was going to
say, it's one of the most tranquil experiences of gaming I think I've ever played. The music in this game plays such a big role. It is, like you say, it's so stress relieving. The fact that
you've gone from Doom, which had hundreds of demons being crammed up your arse, then you've got Animal Crossing, and then you sandwich that with Sekiro, one of the hardest games in the last half decade. You seem to like the stress, sir.
No, I'm on a fucking roller coaster here. I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down. It's all that cocaine and marijuana.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
It's the concoction. I'm trying to replicate it in gaming now. You see.
that's what people need. Well, you can't get any of this stuff these days.
No.
That's all locked down. Imagine the prices at an absolute premium.
God.
We've got it on the lovely Switch. Are you playing handheld or on the telly? Bit of both.
Doing a bit of both, to be honest. One thing I've found a lot with this game, which I didn't expect. Well, I suppose I was to expect it, but I didn't think I'd be and that's socially. There's so much of this game, we're talking about it daily. We've got group
We're in a Facebook group with other people that don't know.
Exactly. We're constantly talking about it, comparing prices and comparing stuff that we've done. And I've even sort of gone as far as to include my 3-year-old son now plays it with me, which annoys. I really wish I hadn't, to be honest.
Has he got his own character, or is he using your little fella?
No, he's just playing mine. But when I say play, he just digs holes. That's it. And I've got videos of it. He finds it hilarious just to dig a hole. So at the end of the day, I have to go around the island and just fill in all the holes he's digged. But this is my day to day now. I wake up and he says he thinks the game's called Tom Nook for starts. So I'll wake up and the first thing he'll say is, "Daddy, can we Tom Nook?" And that's how my day starts. And then I can get a good sort of 5 hours in before Elbra starts going, right, you set any plan, and I can just go, well, I'm bonding with my son, so and he's already gone off and played elsewhere, and I'm just God knows what I'm doing. I'm sitting here fucking flogging turnips for a living.
Yeah, catching bugs.
That's it.
Butterflies and whatnot.
So socially, with you guys and that, really been doing that, and now I've started to, like I say, actually bond with my son over playing it.
So it's taken 3 years to finally bond with your own child.
Yeah, I was going to say, I detest the kid other than that, but once he starts taking an interest in that, he puts his grubby mitts all over my Switch.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's the one thing, is that them Switches 3 years ago, they weren't going to be touched without any sort of gloves or anything. Now it's like, well, I ain't got a choice. They're going to take a bit of a battering. I've been playing almost exclusively on the docked mode. Right. Haven't really done much handheld, but Seal, she's been playing it in handheld. She's got a separate character.
What's your how does that work then? Because I was under the assumption, or I suppose I am, is that it's one island per Switch.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I didn't know. I would have initially. I was like, I thought she was going to, when she logged on, she was going to get her own island and it'd just be separate. Right. But I sort of checked in after 2 hours and I was like, hang on a minute, that looks really like my island. And I was like, hang on, that fucking is my island. And I was like, are you on my character? I got annoyed because I don't like people playing with my characters. She's like, no, I'm still on your one. I gave her a backhander, obviously. People check. And then... we looked at it and I was like, oh, so you only get one island per Switch. And I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit shit. But I think it's actually quite a good thing in hindsight, because now you don't really want to do everything every day after a certain point, because it just builds the amount of stuff you can do builds and builds and builds. I focus on making the money, like in real life. I'm out earning
the breadwinner.
I'm the breadwinner. She's on the island filling in holes, plucking weeds, get her in the kitchen, all that sort of good stuff, making use of it. And making the place look pretty, basically. So it's worked quite well. That if she wants to go on it, I know that I can trust her just to make it look nicer. Because I've got a creative bone in my body when it comes to designing things like that. So she's got some ideas and wants to build an orchard, all this good stuff. And I was like, yeah, do it.
So she got her own character. Or is she using your character?
No, she's got her own character. Yeah. So because I set up, she got a Switch profile that I just set up.
Yeah. That's it.
And she's logged in, flies to the island, and then she's got her own house as well, and that's it. Separate houses.
So when you play on your one, has she got houses there as well, or is it not?
No, I can see it. I can go in there and see her house. Yeah, so her house is on the island.
So she's like a permanent resident on your house, on your island. Then. Oh well, that does work well.
One thing we haven't tried is that I think there's a way that I can play using the Pro Controller and she can play using the Joy-Cons on one Switch.
That's clever.
I've not experimented with that yet. I imagine it'd be split screen or something, but
something
we'll try on, and then I'll probably just drop it into a future episode if I've done it and let people know how it works and whatnot. But yeah, it's been an interesting. You're right. The social aspect of it is something that came completely by surprise. Wasn't expecting to join a Facebook group. Then Hall's got it now. He's fucking daily. He set up a new turnip traders group. And He's found a fucking website where you can queue for the turnips and stuff. It's a great website. Turnip Exchange, but it's got quite a few layers to it, which you wouldn't probably expect. And the trouble is when you break it down, and people go, "Why are you buying and selling turnips?" And you go, "Well, I've got to build up that island," and that's really what the crux of the game is. You got Tom Nook who wants you to build up the island, and you get a star rating eventually, and it's about making your island look better. And there'll be a little surprise at the end should you meet the requirements, and you do that by building bridges and whatnot, and earning currency. I guess is one of the main ways that you have to. Use.
Their currency is called bells.
Correct.
You run on these little gold bells. Previous games, apparently, I've never played a previous game, but they're apparently like the towns and cities are already built, so you just turn up and you're in this living, breathing world. So it must be so different. I heard that the crafting isn't in them games. They've never had crafting. This is the first one to have it. So
interesting.
I don't know if I'd get on with the older games. Maybe not.
Fuck them, leave them.
Experience, but yeah, this, as much as tedious task it may seem, it is just so stress relieving and almost addictive. Just to, like I say, hours can fly by and you're just doing the same monotonous things, but with that little tranquil music in the background that's just so light-hearted and everything's colourful. For people that are depressed, I think this would be a good game to play.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it's interesting because it's actually not that shallow because you're always working towards some sort of goal that you've been set, and you're always seemingly slowly progressing and unlocking new things for like quite a while until it's settled down as it feels like you've got everything. So things like tools, initially you'll only get one tool and you can only travel inside the part of your island where there's no rivers running because you can't get over the river. Then after a few days, after you learn a few more recipes and do a few more tasks, you learn that there's a pole vault, isn't it? Event.
That's it. That's where it starts. Yeah.
And then you can use that to hop over the rivers to get to the other part of the island. Then eventually there's like higher ground parts of the island, and you can build ladders to get up there. And that's just like the early sort of few weeks. And people will get annoyed because you can't do that all in one day. It won't let you.
I suppose that's the thing. I suppose, like I say, I moan that it's the slowest start to a game, but it wouldn't work. I think if they unleash all this stuff, it would just become like a sort of like a GTA sandbox mode, like the director mode, where you've just got access to everything and you can do what you want. And I think that you'd get bored a lot quicker.
Absolutely,
so where this is so slow and drip fed to you, you do get that sense of accomplishment. You think, right, so I'll do this day, and it works well. But for people that are used to these fast paced games where you're making progress and you can just stick hours in, and not expecting this to go right, well, it's pretty much all I can do for today unless I just grind out more flowers.
Or you can set your switch time forward, which people do. So there is that option for people. I mean, it's not what I would typically do or ever consider doing, but I know, especially in them groups, there's a lot of people. They're frowned upon. Let's be honest. In the Facebook group, they are frowned upon, the time travellers.
Yeah,
but
that's what they are referred to in this world.
Yeah,
this realm. The time travellers. I'm not yet. I haven't done it myself, and I don't think I will. But I'd be interested to see what it would do if you was to fast forward. I wonder if people have the events, like if the events already logged into the game. So if you go to like Christmas Day, is there going to be like decorations all over the show? Or
from what I understand, is to stop that happening. The way they've designed it is that the game will patch when the events are going live. Right. You have to be connected to the internet to get So I think they've kind of done that to stop people doing that, because I think previously that was an issue. People were just steaming forward and then
so I'm sure that
getting all this shit.
Because I know the reviewers were given the game 2 full weeks before release.
Okay.
And they must have been able. I think a lot of them had to at least do a little bit of time travelling, just to get the reviews done, because it does. It's the game. I don't think there's any other game out there, not to my knowledge, that runs like this on real time.
Yeah.
Quite.
I can't. If I think of anything, I'll certainly shout.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, I can't.
And again, this is going back to this. I think our current situation plays. It'd be weird, like I suppose when I'm working, especially in the winter months, I'll never see daylight in the game unless I play it at a weekend. I suppose.
That's true. Yeah.
I'll wake up in the morning. By the time I get back home
Yes.
from work, it'll be pitch black, and the shops will be shutting in a couple of hours.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like the shops do have open and close times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty generous. I think it's like 8 till 10. But again, like you might have days where if you're really busy, you won't be able to go to the bloody shop,
Nah.
and you're like, bloody hell, I didn't get to sell me fucking fruit. So. If people are saying what's the reason for time travelling? What's the main thing that stops you from progressing in this game? What's the sort of the crux of why Tom Nook's putting the brakes on you, and how's he doing it?
So basically, you're working to build up this island, and what he will do is he will grant you his own very loans.
Did he say he's a bastard? I don't know if he did or not. But if
Yeah.
he didn't, he's a bastard, Tom Nook.
Now, when you go take out a loan in real life and you see these extortionate interest rates,
Wonga.
triple that for Tom Nook's rates. I added one bedroom. I'll tell you what, I added a garage in my house last year, sorry. That cost me £9,000. I've got a second room in my house in Animal Crossing. That fucking cunt charged me over 200 grand for that one room.
He's making a killing.
He's absolutely fucking raping everyone, that bastard.
He's not ideal. And what will happen is, say if you wanted to... I'm getting to the bit where I need to start building infrastructure, as they call it, for the island. So building bridges to make it easier for residents to go across the rivers, which I can do, but they can't. And so I say, right, I need to build a bridge. And he's like, I'll select the type of bridge you want. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I know that bit. And he's like, right, it'll cost you 168 grand. And I'm like, well, that's a bit eye-watering, but needs must, we'll do it.
Yep.
I choose the location of it, and then I pay that little fucker that builds it, that little timber bloke.
Yep.
And he says, brilliant, I've got all the money I need. It'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah. Everything is done tomorrow.
Yeah, nothing's dead. Don't put off today what you can do tomorrow. And
That's it. So yeah, that is mainly what will happen. You'll do your day to day. I sort of tend to, like I say, in the early, I wake up in the morning, the sun wants to play Tom Nook, and I go through my list of activities to do for the day. I'll go around and look at the fruit. I'll dig up my fossils.
Yeah.
Then
eggs at the moment, though.
I see eggs and fossils. I do that. I go and have a look what's in the shop.
Yep.
I go and have a look on my Nook Miles on the little thing. What else do I do? I smash all my rocks and get out the things.
Get out the iron and the
That's
gold.
it, the iron and gold.
Sometimes money.
And then
stone.
I tend to pick the fruit in a minute. I pick every bit of fruit off which comes daily.
Yes.
And then I'll have a little play about and I'll do a bit of fishing and a bit of fly catching and get the weeds up. And that's my day-to-day routine. So I'll do that. That'll take an hour and a half, I'd say. And then I think, right, so then I'll go, right, okay, well, I've got this money now. Now I can pay off that bridge. So then you donate your money, you pay off your bridge, and boom, that's when your wall comes. So say if you smash that out in a couple of hours, 2-3 hours in the morning.
Yep. Get all your fruit, get all your bucks, sell them all, do whatever you want to make money with them.
That's it.
You pay it off, and he goes, yep, that'll be ready tomorrow. I don't know if it's midnight. I might log on.
No, it's 5 a.m.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Tom Nook.
Yeah, that's. I don't know why it does that. That's when the game clock seems to go to. It's 5 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Cool.
Because he does it. They always start off with their little daily announcements.
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's annoying a little bit because you sort of want to carry on, but it works because of the time, I suppose. Like I say, because it's drip feeding it to you. If you was to get it done, you could probably get the game wouldn't last. I'm sure you get to a point where you can no longer expand your house or you can't build any more bridges.
Yeah.
So there will be a point where you can't do this stuff. So it's sort of slowing you down from that. But yeah, I'm finding myself where I'm only doing. There's only so much stuff I can do. I can grind and do the sort of needy bits that ain't very, ain't going to get you a lot of dollar.
Yeah.
Come to find, we've now realised that the menial task ain't where the moolah is.
No, it's not at all. It's them turnips.
Yeah.
The turnips are something that appear every Sunday that you can buy off some snotty nose fucker that visits your island.
It's quite a clever little thing. Was it called the turnip trade? What's it called? It's a pun. It's a pun on the stock exchange. I can't remember what
Turnip exchange.
Is it the turnip exchange? Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have to Google it because it's a funny name on it. I can't remember. But anyway, carry on.
So this snotty nose fucker comes round, and you can use your bells that you may have been accumulating through selling the fruit that Adkins mentioned. You may have sold materials. You may have crafted an item like a rocking chair that happened to be the day's hot item, so you got double the amount of bells for that. And you accumulate all this money, and you can use that to buy bits and pieces in the shop or buy furniture and things like that. But the real moolah, if you want to make it, you wait for this turnip fucker to come round, the snotty-nosed bastard, and you pile all your money into the turnips. They normally sell for between, I've seen from about 80 to about 110 per turnip. Pile all your money into that, and then you wait till the week comes through on Monday, and you check your turnip price in the shop. If it's a high price, you sell them there. If it's a low price, you keep on to them. Or you go onto these Facebook groups and find someone's island where they're selling for up to like 4 or 5. I've seen even 600 bells per turnip, and you can quadruple your money quite easily. And that's the game.
That is the game. I went through this phase of thinking that this Tarantula Island business was the moolah, but
they sell for $8K a pop.
So it's a decent amount of cash you can make, but it's a lot of work, depending on, there's different islands that you can land on.
Because you can pay for to visit other islands, and they're not people's islands. You have to pay for that, but these are random islands. They're basically designed for you to go on there and pillage them, get the materials, and some have specific materials that you can get. Or you even sometimes bump into a future resident that you can speak to and invite to your island. So if you've got a spare plot and you want more people to come join, you can ask someone there to join them. But in the early goings, the turnips wasn't really a known quantity.
No.
So that's what we was relying on, wasn't we? We was getting those Nook miles tickets, as they're called, and then jetting off, pillaging the place, and you were hunting tarantulas because there was
tarantulas
making a fair old wedge.
Yeah, there was a lot of YouTube videos of showing how to do it. It seemed to be the best way when we first knew, but it seems like a cheat, like you're almost cheating, but it's sort of manipulating the game. Basically, you have these bugs that spawn throughout the game. Yes. But what it was you just needed to sort of flatline the whole island, so there was nothing that these bugs could spawn on.
Yeah.
And then that confuses the game, and then automatically spawns these tarantulas that are worth $8K a pop.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is just to go with just the bare essentials, and then just fill up your inventory and bring them back and sell them in the morning for $8K a pop, and you make a couple of hundred thing. But like you say, there's different islands you can go to, and some make it so tedious, and now they're spawning different things in now to stop it.
Cottoned onto it a bit, and they've definitely nerfed it. But the way I look at it in the headcanon is that all you're doing is creating an environment to lure out the tarantulas.
Yeah.
That's the way I say it, and they can still do it. That's the way the game works is in that realm and in that way. So it's a way of doing it. But like you said, 300K. I think you got one trip, or maybe nearly 300K.
Yeah, it's free. I paid for one of my rooms.
Oh yeah,
I think I had about 300 left, and I was like, cool. So I've done that. Managed to hit the jackpot. And there was one of the islands. I think it was about 10 islands or 9, and the one's called Tarantula Island, where there's like a section in the middle of this island, and it will always have at least 4 or 5 tarantulas already spawned, just raring to go. So you literally just jump onto it and net them. It's like fish in a barrel. But it seems quite rare that you get that one. So
I've not had it yet, and I've visited probably nearly 24 islands, so I've been unlucky not getting that.
So it's not the best way, but no, it is all about those turnips, and it's just adding to that social element again, where you're messaging, you're getting in these queues. I haven't done that myself yesterday. Yesterday I should have really. Sekiro got the better of me, but I did have my turnips at, I think there was about £530 or bells. Sorry, they were worth. So I should have really leapt on that, but Sekiro got the better of me, and I turned my nose up at it. I could have fucking I could have
Made
been.
decent.
I could have turned into Tom Nook myself. And
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I sold them on someone else's island. I used a website called Turnip Exchange where you can like jump into a queue and then they give you a dodo code, which is what you can use to connect and go to other people's islands, like your friend's island or a randomer's island. And I went on there and sold mine. I got, I think, 1.2 million bells come out of that, and I was like, Jesus, that's come in handy. And that, yeah, but it is like a little added social element, and we've been visiting each other's islands.
Yeah.
We've got, especially in the early game, you have like a native fruit that grows on your island. I've got apples, and I think you've got peaches.
Yeah.
And I can travel to your island, sell my apples at a inflated price because they're rare, they don't exist there.
Yep.
Conversely, you can come to my island, sell your peaches for an inflated price and make some money, and then take that money and do what you want with it.
Yeah.
So there's one other currency we haven't spoken about, and that's the Nook Mile.
Yeah. What is a Nook Mile?
I don't know. It sounds like a fucking pyramid scheme from Tom Nook, if I'm being quite honest. But
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think it's a cult now. This
Yeah.
But the Nook Mile scheme, yeah, it's basically, the way I see it, it's like a book of achievements that they give you, or tasks, or targets, and it could be as simple as catch 5 unique bugs, and then when you hit that, you automatically get given these Nook Miles, which you can use to trade in for flight tickets to those random islands that you can pillage, or unique items or upgrades to your inventory space, things like that. And in the early going, especially the first few days, I spent ages just getting to the next. It's like catch 10 fish. I was like, I'm going to catch 10 fish. I'm going to catch 10 fish and build them up, because they are invaluable, those Nook Miles.
Yeah. And they go so quick as well.
Oh, yeah, you don't get much of them, do you? You get like 500, get 300, and then might get 500. I think I've had one with 2,000, but
yeah,
it's another little currency that you'll just pick up naturally by playing them.
Yeah, you will find that you'll just get these by just playing the game, and and they seem to have I think it's about a week into the game that you'll get these daily ones that give you sort of sometimes even up to 5 times they can go up to, which only works out about 500 at a time. But they're ones that are just menial tasks, like to have 3 conversations, catch 5 fish. But the longer ones are ones like catch 100 fish, and then there's one for like 200. And I found out today that you can now get gold tools.
Yes.
From breaking stuff or like using stuff 100 times. I'm like, cool.
I've heard this, yeah.
So that is the long.
So them gold nuggets finally will have a use. I haven't got many of them, so I don't know how much of that shit I need. But it seems like there's lots of progression areas, and depending on how far you want to take it, you can keep playing it for a long time. And they've introduced this Easter event that started, I think it's the 1st of April.
1st of April it was, yeah. There's up to the 12th, I think that's when it finishes. Easter is funny. They're not actually, because of it's a Nintendo company, they can't sort of side with one religion, so it's just called Bunny Day.
It's true, it is called Bunny Day, yeah.
But you have the Easter eggs and bunnies, and I ain't seen Jesus pop up yet, so...
I think that's tomorrow he pops up, to Good Friday, I can't remember.
Oh, is it? Yeah, Good Friday.
I don't know how the story goes,
so
something like that.
This Sunday, so Easter Sunday, or Bunny Sunday, as it'll be called.
What do they bury him Friday? We burying or burying? I can't remember. But
yeah,
whatever happens to him, he back up. But yeah, so they're doing like seasonal events where there's new products to craft, like during that time, and new materials to collect.
Yeah, it's quite fun because what you also get, it's not currency or anything, but you also get a lot of crafting. They're called DIY recipes. So this is a thing that you'll find a lot in the game. And it just new little recipes for you to craft stuff, and I've been playing it now for a number of hours, and I'm still, like today I played a little session today, and I'm still unlocking just normal bits of DIY that I've not had. So there's so much of it, and I'm sure it's endless, but yeah, they even have their own seasonal thing. So you catch all these eggs, which at first is so overbearing. They have actually nerfed it since.
Yeah,
thank God.
Just fucking eggs everywhere.
Still
a bit of wood, egg. No.
Yeah, it really fucking up. I had them Nook Miles. It was catch 5 fish, and I was just catching eggs. It's pissing me off.
Jesus Christ.
But they seemingly have nerfed that a bit now, so it's not as bad as it was. But yeah, so they'll start crafting these DIY recipes, and you can make little wreaths for your front door and little outfits you can make and some ornaments and stuff. So yeah, it'd be. I look forward to what they're going to do with the big ones like Easter, Halloween, and I think that'd be a real good time to play this game.
Yeah, it
you
will.
can decorate the house all scary and spooky. Then Christmas is just a couple of months after that.
Yeah.
I wonder if what it'll be. I wonder if they'll do like a Thanksgiving one, which will be weird for us in the United Kingdom when we don't celebrate that.
No, I'm sure they'll still do it.
Do they have a St. Paddy's Day where you get drunk, drink Guinness and wear green?
Yeah, they should do.
Yeah.
They've got a few things they can do, for sure. I mean, the design of the game is this. It's basically a life simulator.
Yeah. The closest thing I'd say it's to is something like Sims.
Yeah.
But more, it's
less, you don't have to have a piss and shit in that.
Yeah, it's less sort of simulator. Or because you don't have to eat or anything in this.
No,
you can.
It's purely just building
of all that sort of thing that you don't have to. But that is one thing that has annoyed me a little bit with this game is when I craft things, I can't interact with much. So I've got like a little trike outside of my house now, and I think, how cool would that be if I could just ride that around?
Yeah,
just
you could use that to do little tasks.
Yeah, if I could ride my little trike around, that would be brilliant. And I've just got a guitar, and I think, it'd be wicked if I could, pick it up and have a little play, like, I don't know, just a little tiny rhythm game or something like that. But no, most things, particularly ornaments, and it makes stuff look cool. But yeah, I do interaction with things like that. I suppose it's a big ask because then, when do you say stop? Why can't we have a boat?
Never stop. Get everything interactive. I don't want this aesthetic crap, as people would say.
That's it, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's certainly a criticism. I would say another criticism I've got is the controls, because it kind of works on like a square or grid basis, it seems.
Yes.
And it's really hard sometimes. Let's just take fishing, for example.
Yeah.
In order to fish, you've got to build a rod. Blah blah blah. Easy. So you go to the river, you go to the lake, you go to the edge of the sea, whatever you want to do down the beach. Lovely beaches, by the way. Beautiful. Not a stone in sight, unlike Southend. Good God, your feet on the glass. And you'll see a shadow of a fish in the water, and you're like, okay, I want to go and catch that one. But you can't choose precisely where you cast. You sort of aim your character, press. Is it A? I'll get confused. Press A
on that one
on the pad, and your character will cast the rod, and it's always a set length, but you can't choose the length, and it'll depend on how you've lined up, whether it's perfect or not. It will either land in the right place or not, basically. And the only way to get the fish interested is it's got to land kind of in front of them, sort of within a block space or so. And sometimes it's real aggravation trying to just get you to cast in an area where the fish will pick it up and jump on the hook, basically.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I think it's impossible to count the amount of times that I've gone to dig a hole and dug the wrong section, like either next to it or over it or beside it. It's really it ain't the most intuitive bit of controlling I've ever put my hands on at all.
No, I'm finding if there's an item on the floor as well, I'll go to pick it up, and if there's another item next to that, if you're in that sort of box, like you say, that it's in, you can end up picking up a bit of fence or something instead of the item. So, it really is, it works okay, but I've got to say, it is a bit of an annoyance at sometimes if we are going to start critiquing it.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely not immune. And because it's a game where the aesthetic build that you do, i.e. the inside, you can decorate your house with all these cool bits of furniture, wallpapers, rugs, all this nice stuff, appliances, decorations. But it's really difficult, or at least I find it not that easy to actually make the house look good, because I'm constantly dropping something and then it's dropped a square too far away.
Yeah.
And I've either got to manually push it there, or I can't manually push it there because it's now blocked by another item. It's like, for fuck's sake, I could just be able to just select this and drop in it where I want. So for a game that is, the aim of the game is to build a lovely looking island, they don't, in my opinion, make it as easy as it should be to do that, because you are sometimes fighting against the controllers, and that fishing, The amount of times. Or just bug catching. I've missed plenty of bugs.
Yeah, just by doing that.
Yeah, it's not ideal, I'd say, for the control point of view.
No, and one thing I would say as well is there's a lot of things that the game doesn't tell you. So I think it was about a week and a half, and I think you only realised that you could jog and sprint in the game.
Yeah.
So there's little things that I do find anyone that's picking this game up, if you have access to YouTube, I'm sure you do, because you got to have access to the internet because you listen to us. So if you have,
if you've got fucking Sky, they might not. It might have booted them off. It just booted us off.
That's true.
I heard the edit there.
But Lord. Get yourself on YouTube and watch some of these YouTube clips where it tells you sort of 10 things you didn't know about the game, because that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Little things of where to, it teaches you the things that the game doesn't tell you that really do come in useful. Yeah. Things like being able to sprint.
I didn't know. Yeah, it took me ages. I didn't know how to sprint. Also, like...
Salmon's about 3 weeks and he ain't even got a slingshot yet.
No, exactly. Salmon's not got a slingshot yet. I, for about 4 days, was smashing the rocks rather than...
Oh, that's right.
Because basically, there's rocks that you can mine and get materials like iron nuggets, gold nuggets, stone, bits and pieces like that. But I thought that the way to do it was to eat an apple or a bit of fruit, and then you can then dig out a tree, for example, and it buffs you for that one action. Or you can smash the rocks. And I thought, okay, I've got to smash the rocks, and then all the materials will fall out. No, The way to do it is to not be buffed. Is actually just trying to hit it. I think, is it 6 times is like the maximum you can do in a short period of time? Oh, 8.
8. But this is another thing. It doesn't tell you that there's a hidden timer from your first hit.
Yeah.
And you have to hit that each time. But each time you hit it, it knocks you back.
Yep.
So you have to dig holes behind where you're going to hit to stop yourself. But yeah, so basically this little timer, so you get up to 8 times. But I was exactly the same and just smashing these rocks and they're disappearing and thinking, where the fuck's that gone?
Yeah. You was getting like one bit of stone.
Yeah, just one bit of stone. That was it.
You can get up to 8 if you just hit them and don't smash them. And it's like, I did not know that. No one. See,
I think that did halt my progress as well in the first week, because early game, a lot of stuff for the crafting does require these iron nuggets, which. I was finding a valuable resource, and I had fuck all because like yourself, I kept smashing everything, so I didn't get any.
Yeah.
I was finding I was having to go to these Nook Islands just to get some of these materials, so that halted it. But yes, it is a bit of a pain in the dick.
Yeah, there's a few things they could have tightened up on, and controls and a little bit more tutorial on how things worked. I mean, maybe because we've not played them, we just.
No, that's
we
right.
didn't know the mechanics work, but they've got to expect the amount of copies that the game has sold and that the Switch has sold since it's launched like a few years ago. Like they knew there's going to have a good seller on their hands, and there's going to be people like me and you going, well, how do you work this then? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I think it's off to a real good start, and I think it's in Japan. It's doing really well.
Yeah.
Very good. I think it's on course to get up there in the tops. I
think it's knocked. They've knocked Pokemon off. Like,
oh, really?
They had set, and I was like, whoa.
Is Breath of the Wild still? No, is it Breath of the Wild top still?
Well, for ages it was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, wasn't it?
Mario Kart 8, that's the one. Yeah.
It could get to that, because no reason why it shouldn't.
No.
It's not like people are going to miss
the thing.
The story.
This game does appeal to everyone. Like, even there was a thread in that little group that we sent. It was someone asking the sort of age of people, and there was people in there. There was 15-year-old girls playing it. Yeah. There was 40-year-old men. There's us in my 30s.
We're in our 30s now, so that's
39. I'm in my 30s, aren't I? So, but So it is a game for everyone. Like you say, you can include your wife, your son, your brother,
anyone.
Anyone,
Switch,
really.
Or access to a Switch, you can.
Exactly.
I'd recommend. Yeah, I mean, it's just been such a good game. Yes, it's come at a strange time, which has probably heightened its appeal, because a lot of people are working either remotely or not at all, or have reduced out, whatever it is. It seems like people have more time on their hands, other than the heroes out there that are on the front line. But even if I still personally would have still been I'd have been getting in from work, going, right, get the Animal Crossing on, crunch 2 hours off, and then I'd have actually quite enjoyed that. I'd have been like, right, I'm done for the evening and got out.
Yeah.
It just so happens that I had a bit more time because I'd no commute, and I could get up a bit earlier or get on it a bit earlier and put the more hours in. So
yeah, I certainly think this is going to be one of those games that will still get played every now and again. It's a bit like these games for service. You did that, but with them you'd have limited events. But this is one that you can literally just pick up for an hour or two, do your daily little bits, have a little play. And you either do your bits and get off, or you do find yourself sinking hours in. And once you've unlocked like bits that you can, once you start unlocking things like paths and stuff, and fences and flowers, and it's just endless fun you can do. You can constantly change up your island after that. If you could flat level the whole thing if you wanted to later on. Start again.
The level of progression is quite surprising. I was surprised at how much it holds back. And how much you kind of don't get bored with the stuff it just sort of drip feeds out to you. Like it keeps things nice and entertaining. One
thing that surprised me massively was the sort of aesthetic of the game and stuff. It's lovely and very cartoonish, almost like a Pixar game.
Yeah, then I come on your island and there's a big cock drawn on the flag. How's that being allowed in this Nintendo game? I'd every reason to report you.
That is true.
Get that Nintendo account shut down.
That is the official flag of Dankville. That will remain there, the big purple helmet warrior. But yeah, the aesthetic of the game is very, very cartoony, very Pixar-esque. But what also you can do in this game, which is another big element of my daily activities, you dig up these fossils, and also with the fish and bugs that you catch, you can donate these to the island's very own museum.
Yes.
Everyone has. Now, visiting this museum, I talk about how this game is the most, tranquil and cathartic thing playing. When you visit the museums, it has 3 areas. You have a fossil one where it's all your sort of dinosaur bones.
I got fucking lost in that place. It's like a labyrinth.
Yeah. Then you've got your bugs, so it's a bit like a bloody zoo. And there you've got like
Bloodborne all over again. I was like, where am I going? Get out of here.
And then you've got the aquarium, and oh my god, the graphics! It's like a bloody AAA 4K bad boy. It just goes from this cartoon Pixar thing to. It's incredible, really. It really blew me away the first time I went in there and was like, oh, look at this.
Yeah, and
you can just spend hours, looking at the new things. So every time you get a new species, of which fish and bugs and stuff, they arrive every month different. So
some you can only get in certain seasons, some only come out at certain times during the day. So there's all these little small meta bits that if you want to collect all the bugs or collect all the fish, like you're going to have to figure out when and how's the best to get them. Like only some fish turn up in rivers, some only turn up in lakes, in the sea. Yeah, the level of detail really is quite staggering when you actually.
Really is. I'd really like a nice checklist. I know you do get the. It sort of ticks it off once you get them. It's quite nice to see what you've got, so you can work towards a sort of give it a percentage.
Some sort of maybe there's like some sort of like wildlife book you can buy with bells. That'd be cool, and then it shows you like what you haven't got and when they arrive, what the best time is, what their habitat's like, all that stuff. That would be cool. Something they could add, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah,
maybe they're trying to feed that out to the fucking 200th hour.
That's it. I am interested to see what they do with this game. I mean, like I said, I've never played any of the others, so I don't know what sort of DLC they brought out, but I hope it's more than just, these events. They obviously will do these events, but I hope they start releasing new little things that, when you get new things come to the island. Something like a museum, if you was to get something else, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if they just added swimming in or something.
Yeah,
that'd be quite fun.
It really is incredible. I mean, there's stuff we haven't even talked about, like you can design your own logos and bits like that.
I've not delved into that. That's again adding to the social side. You could even I noticed that you made your very own dimp hat.
I did not make that, sir. That was
did you not?
No, one of our illustrious fans made that on our behalf. Someone made a dimp hat, which is something they probably have only seen once when I was on like a verbal podcast, and then invited me to the island so I could go to their shop and pick up their their version of the Dimp hat. Cartoon_Tom on Twitter. He's the guy who made the Dimp hat. He's made loads of other stuff as well. His shop is full of like personal like stuff that he's made and like portraits. Like it's really good.
It's good, yeah. There is a social way. There's a way you can design something, and you can get these QR codes.
That's it.
And yeah, you can print them off yourself or buy them and stuff. So I've even seen like you can make wallpaper and pictures in your house of like pixelated versions of real photos. I can get like a picture of you. I could make a shrine to you in one of my rooms and just have the wallpaper of your face plastered everywhere.
It's crazy.
Or your cock, depending, you know.
Might need a microscope for that. Well, is there any other business you've got before we kind of move into the grading that you want to give this bad boy?
No, I suppose we must. I suppose I have to discuss the credits rolling. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but yeah, unbeknown to us, that I came across this set of credits. I was like, cool, and that is in no means. It's no way set up in like a normal game where you have this like main story and then you're just doing other things. This is just basically your main focus is to do this event that happens throughout the game. Like I said, with these loans and stuff that you have from Tom Nook, something else will happen in the game and that will become your main focus, and then once that's finished, that's when these credits roll, and you
have to restart.
Yeah, then it starts you all the way from the back beginning again. No, it was a strange thing. I suppose it's people like you, I reckon, that they heard complain about Forza 4 having no credits, and they went, right, we'll give you your credits. There you go. Then you can get it out of your brain that you've completed. Carry on and just fuck about on this thing. Yeah, I don't know why they've added this in. I don't know if any of the other games had it, but
I don't know. Yeah.
Because it seems to me it's almost like a tutorial rather than like a main campaign. It's almost as if you're completing it, and now the sort of journey starts now.
If the real pro players at Mario Odyssey are to be believed, that's the theory they have, is that the campaign that me and you probably completed, and the credits roll, that's just a taster of the main task is getting all the stars.
That's it,
which are fucking rock hard. So it might be another similar thing like that. It's like here's like a condensed version of the game, all the best bits. We'll roll the credits, and if you want to walk away, you can. But I bet you bollocks, there's hundreds of things that you can do, and maybe you want to work towards even after that. So keep on playing.
No, it definitely is. But so for the people that don't want to commit to it and play it for the year, you could pick this up and play it for God knows how many hours. I don't know, 20, 30, 40. Get them credits, and then that's it. Fuck off if it's not for you. Don't. But I definitely feel this is one of these games that we will. I think all of us will still have a little dabble here and there.
I want to be a billionaire, so I'll be every week trading them fucking turnips on the turnip exchange, man.
I really got stung this week. I didn't realise again. It did. Well, I think it probably did tell me, but I didn't pay attention. But the drippy nose slag only comes. Did she rock up at 8 in the morning? Did she or 5?
Before you get up in real life.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Yeah, that's what cost me. I think I got up about 10 that day, and then I think you and Sam wanted to come and.
You had a better price, I think, on the turnips, didn't you?
Oh, we always get a price, and did I have a good price then? Or?
You had a good price. You had a better. I think it was like one bell less. You had a better price, and we had some apples to ship.
Some fruit. So I got you both in. And then we found that if you sprint through people's flower, you can destroy them. So we've got this little battle going where we keep destroying each other's flower. So so I've stuck him on a very harsh 2-week ban. And
so a couple of flowers, and I got booted off the island.
So I booted him off the island, and then after I thought, well, I ain't got nothing else to do, so I'll kick it. I just switched the game off. And
right.
I thought, right, I've kicked these off. I thought, I ain't playing anymore. He's upset me. He's killed me fucking tulips. So I turned the game off. And then I had a text from Hall saying, I found this geezer that's selling them for 500 or something. And I thought, right, I'll go on and buy. So I went back on, and it was about 12:10. And I thought, where the fucking hell is she? She was over here a minute ago. And then I lost her, and I thought, does she go in people's houses? And I think a good half hour I was walking around my island like 3 times, checking every little nook and cranny just to see where she'd gone. And then I think I put something in the group to Hall, and then Hall said, no, she fucks off at 12 o'clock. So now I've got to wait a full fucking week. Where you and Salmon are selling yours for like 1.3 million, and I've fucking been stuffed this week because I didn't buy any.
Yeah, I didn't know that, to be fair. It probably did. It may well have told us.
Yeah, it probably did tell you about. Yeah,
unfortunate.
It was an unfortunate, but yeah, she don't come back now till it's every Sunday, so I've got another few days to wait.
So you can only buy them on that Sunday in that time period. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't fiddle with the switch time, like between 8 and 12 or whatever it is, she'll only appear during that time. So if you're away for the weekend, you better take that switch with you if you want to get your turnip training.
Yeah, that would be a real stinger, wouldn't it, if you're away for the weekend?
Yeah.
Especially if you're working towards the goal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of one of the quirks, but bless you, good God, get him to the hospital. It's kind of one of its quirks, but also I can see that annoying people because they're like, oh, I can't run my entire life around Animal Crossing, which I think is a fair point. We've just been in a somewhat, if you look at it just from time, perspective, we're in a fortunate position where we've got a bit more time than normal, that we've worked around the game more than we probably would have done had it been like a normal working environment.
That's it, It's a bit of a shit one as well. You go on a Saturday night and get absolutely fucking levered and then wake up with hangover and you think, oh, I can't be fucked. And that's it, you're fucked for the week.
You have to send the youngster on.
Yeah, got to teach him how to just fucking dig holes and then sell everything. Sake.
You'll come back and he'll level the whole island. You're like, no, my fucking tulips.
Fucking hell.
Right, any closing thoughts before the final grading and official verdict?
Pretty much discuss. First entry to the game. I'll tell you what we'll do is I'll reveal how many hours I've put in. So it is my most played Switch game, which probably isn't that impressive really in the grand scheme of things. But for me and I've just had it. I bought it on the Monday, so just over the 2-week mark now. I am sitting at 70 hours. Oh. So I definitely wouldn't have put that sort of time in. No. So I might be even hitting the 75 mark now. So I could be, for argument's sake, say I'm about 74 hours.
Yeah.
And I have enjoyed all 74 hours I've played.
Can't argue with that.
No, when you boil that down and when I tell people what I've done for those 70 hours, I think they'll scratch their heads and say, what the fuck's wrong with you? I think that you've already got corona. But it is a fantastic escapism is what I'd like to call this game. Most games are, but I really think, especially in this time of disarray and uncertainty in the world that we're living in right now, it's a brilliant distraction.
Yeah,
it's great for your brain because it's so stress relieving. You got problems in your real life, get yourself on Animal Crossing, get yourself an island. Yeah. It gives you that sense of accomplishment because you're building towards goals. You're ticking things off. Yeah. You cannot lose on this game.
No, you cannot lose.
There is literally nothing. Even the worst thing that can happen to you in this game is to get bit by a tarantula.
Or stung by a wasp.
Stung by a wasp, and you get a black eye and you faint. That is it. That is the worst. Well, I'll tell you what's the worst thing you can. Your mates can fuck you off and you can forget to buy them. That's probably the worst thing that can happen.
In my defence, he started the whole plant running thing. He broke not all my plants. He broke some of my plants. He bullied me basically. And then when I figured it out, I just, as I call it,
it's difficult because you can't. It doesn't show you. You're only limited to your camera view, so you only fix on you.
Can't
so
see
if
what
you
people
have
are doing.
More than one person on, you can't. Unless if they go in different directions, you are fucked. You know what one of them's up to.
It is worrying times having someone on your island. But I think because you can actually, we've not enabled this. But there's a system we can enable called Best Friends. Yeah, that lets people dig holes and like change things.
I wonder how much you can. Okay, I think is it just the tools you can use, so you could then you could flatline basically everything if you wanted to. It might be fun just to do it one day once we've got to a point where we've done everything we wanted to do.
We'll do it on Salmon's Island.
Yeah, this is essentially flatlined anyway. This is like a big gift shop when I went there. It was on the floor outside.
Yeah, I grabbed a bit of that, nicked a load of clay one day. I was like, I'll be having that, thank you.
But no, I think it's a brilliant game. It's sort of what I was expecting, but it's more than I was expecting, really.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't expecting to get this much of a positive experience from it. And again, like I keep saying, I think it's because of the predicament that we're in that we've put these hours in and we've loved it so much. And I can't recommend it more enough. It's not the perfect game. I think that I couldn't imagine Biff playing this. My go-to. No. I'd love to see how many hours he could.
It ain't a Biff game.
Ain't a Biff game. It's not going to be for everyone, but I do urge you, if you do struggle with life and you feel depressed and you just want a decent distraction, there's no more series you can watch, get yourself a Switch, which is hard to come by these days.
It's true.
They're fucking going up rocks. Get yourself a fucking Animal Crossing and join the gang, because there's a lot of people will snig. A lot of people laughed when I bought this as well. A lot of my friends, they said, what the fuck are you playing that shit for? It's a children's game. And I agreed with them at first, and I said, yeah, it is a girl's game, isn't it? But call me a hypocrite or
You've learned from it, you've grown from it, much like a lovely tulip will. If you plant it in the right place and water it a few days, it will spawn a lovely tulip-like plant in Animal Crossing New Horizons. What's going to be its official grading? Bearing in mind that you forgot that we can use the 0.5s.
I did, yes. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. It's all these fucking different outlets I keep reading. So, with that, I'm going to use the 0.5 system, and I'm going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10.
Sweet. Animal Crossing New Horizons gets itself an 8.5 out of 10 from Adkins, leaving it on a silver grading, which is nothing to sniff at. Previous game that he reviewed was Doom Eternal, and that came running in with a 9.5 gold rating. So that's still the front runner for 2020 in terms of our reviews, but it is early days.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be plenty of more coming down the pipe. That's it from me, and I guess that's it from you, Mr. Adkins. So thanks for joining us once again.
Should have Sekiro review next week.
Well, yeah. Don't say things like that, otherwise I'll hold you to it. Yeah. That'll be it'll either be you going straight back to Animal Crossing to get over the depression of Sekiro, or
not being able to get past that fucking.
Or you're going to hit the fucking bottle and champagne and celebrate that you've managed to do it. So it could go one of two ways. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you again soon. And everyone else, as usual, thanks very much for your time, and ta-da.
This was a DIMP Digital production.